Hi everyone, I'm explaining the Ruy Lopez opening and now I'm going to explain the word variation. As you know, the Ruy Lopez starts with the e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6 and bishop b5. Here, knight d4 is the word opening. Now the knight here threatens the bishop, so it's actually mandatory to take this knight and e d4. Here there are variations. White can simply play positionally by d3 or sharply by c3 to attack this pawn, or bishop c4. This one is the main variation, so I'm going to talk about this firstly. Now there is a trap here. Black should be careful about this trap because he simply cannot move bishop c5 as the other variations in the Ruy Lopez and the Italian opening. This is wrong because here white simply can get this pawn in the f7 to check, and after black gets this bishop, queen h8 check, and this getting this bishop here. After, for example, g6, bishop and the queen takes bishop here, and white can also get this d4 pawn to get a gaining advantage. So in this position black must be careful after bishop c4. This is the main line here. White simply castles because black starts preparation to move d5 here, but after the castle white can simply play rook e1, and now that e file is open white can simply develop an attack. For example, after d5, e d5, c d5, now that the e file is open, so rook e1 check, bishop e7, bishop b5 check, and then white simply starts to attack. For example, after bishop d7, well, there is a strong attack by queen g4 to attack this pawn, and after attack this rook here. Let's check them. After bishop and rook takes. Now this bishop here is pinned by the rook here, so this rook is hanging. This is a very sharp position that again black should be very careful. So actually it is not wise to move d5 here because this is very sharp. Black can simply move bishop e7 and d3, knight f6. Now there are also variations. For example, white can immediately start by e5, knight d5, and bishop takes, pawn takes, bishop t3, and now these pawns are very weak, so and easy to attack them. Black can simply move d6 and starting to attack the e pawn. Well, obviously this variation, the bird variation, is actually quite dangerous for black. For most of the variations here, it's hard to move for black, so that's why this opening is not mostly used in the tournaments, because, well, even that the black moves very strongly and carefully, it is still strong for white to develop an attack. So here, after e d4 and bishop c4 here, there is also another move by g6. Now black starts to protect this pawn by bishop g7 and also prevents the bishop f7 trap, g6 and castle, bishop g7 and d3, c6 again, but black cannot even immediately move d5 because the e file is now open, so he needs to play knight e6 and then castle, and then after he can play d5. So it requires a lot of preparation to move d5 here, so white can move immediately c3 to prevent the d5 move. dc3, bc3, knight e7, and either the bishop a3 or bishop g5 is now fine, because white simply develops an attack to e7 knight, castles, and queen d2 to prepare an attack from the h7, h6 square and the f4, and also d4, e5 moves are possible. So here in this position, white is the strong one. Black should again be very careful, because this knight here is pinned, and also moving d5 here is not very easy. I'm also going to check the other variations. For example, white can simply move c3, dc3 and bc3. Now this is again very strong for white, because now the center is in his control. For example, c6, bishop c4 and d5, ed5, cd5, bishop b5, check here, bishop d7, and bishop takes, queen takes, and rook. Now here white has an advantage of developing, and also he can control the center after moving d4 and developing his pieces, because now that the a3 square here is in the white's control, here he can simply play the bishop a3 and attacking the king side here. And also there are lots of time required for black to castle here, so white can develop a simple attack. For example, after knight f6, rook e1, bishop e7, bishop a3. This is very strong for white here. So black again needs to be very careful. He needs to use knight e7 here, and then the rook e1 is very strong for white, because the e file is now open, and the king here, it's easy to attack it. And after c3, of course, black can try to protect this pawn here by, for example, moving this a6, bishop a4, and e5 like this, bishop c3. But it's not easy to protect this pawn here, because even after the c5, cd, cd, and bishop b3, now again white can develop an attack, because he now controls these white squares here, and he can attack the f7 pawn here after d3 and castle. Here there is one last variation for white. He can simply move castle like this. c6 is the main line, bishop c4 again to control this white squares here. Now again black should be very careful, because this move is forbidden because of this attack from this f7 square, king f7 and queen h5, as we saw it before. So this cannot be played, and d5 is also not strong, because the e file is now opened after ed5 and now the e file is open, so white can simply develop an attack here. So the main line is d6, but now white can attack. For example, after d3 and controlling these squares, knight f6, bishop g5, bishop e7, and sorry, f4. Now white can attack because after the f4 f5 or e4 e5 moves, he can simply develop an attack from the center. Also, knight d2, knight f3, and knight d4 moves are also possible because it's very hard to protect this pawn here after knight d3. For example, castle, knight d3, and after the knight f3 here, black can simply protect this pawn by queen b6 or c5. c5 is very weak because the d5 square is now very weak, or queen b6 is also possible, but in this case the queen is here attackable. For example, after the rook b1 and a4 b4, developing an attack from the queen side is possible. So it's again not very preferable for black to use. Well, this is the bird opening. This is, as I said, very strong for white, so this is not played mostly in the tournaments. Black should be very careful and play very strongly. So thank you again for watching this video. I'm going to explain the Ruy Lopez opening in the other videos.